Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. We're going to kick off the week with the general notice. It's where I talk about what's coming up for the week ahead, and then I talk about a couple of different things from the Elements of Motorsport news. So, without further ado, let's get into it, and let's start off by looking at what videos I've got coming up this week. And we're going to start off with NASCAR, the Go Bowling at the Glen, followed by the Music City Grand Prix, the finale for IndyCar. Hopefully I'll get some time to sit down and watch them both over the next couple of days because, well, they end up happening at the same time. Even though NBC has the rights to both, and, you know, one's owned by Penske, the other one's raced in by Penske, they're happening at the same time. But yeah, I'm going to probably do NASCAR first, IndyCar second, just because I haven't covered IndyCar much before on this channel. So I want to give myself more time to properly sit down and watch it and be able to comment on my feelings of it as an outsider, because I'm gearing up to hopefully cover the full 2025 season. Then we'll have some previews. We have the Singapore Grand Prix. We have the BTCC at Silverstone. Then is going to be a series of reviews. We're going to have, hopefully, I'll be able to sit down and get done a 100% review for EA Sports WRC, as I've 100%ed the game a couple of months ago now. Got a lot of thoughts and feelings to say about it, especially because I'm pretty sure some of the changes to the Luvu DRM were not installed when I did my initial review. But then we have the Bristol Night Race, because that's on the Saturday, so that'll be coming out on the Sunday. Then on the Monday, the Singapore Grand Prix. For the Tuesday being a review for Silverstone in the BTCC. And then the Wednesday being a preview for Rally Chile, which means the next general notice is scheduled to happen next Thursday. Now, hopefully I'll be able to keep to that. I know there have been some problems this week. So, for example, the Monte Carlo comparison video that I did was the wrong version that went out, because it's one where I paused partway through recording one of the tracks. It was one that I was meant to just use as a comparison to use as a reference, and I have my own introduction and conclusion for it. So what I will do is I will try to get that out at some point as a kind of supplementary video. In terms of streams, on the 17th I'll be doing the first round of Porsche Esports Championship, or PESC, the Great British variant of it, at Donington Park. I won't be doing the second one though on the 24th, because after Donington Park, 24th is Lincoln Park. That means sadly I miss Snetterton. Anyways, that's enough about the timetable for the next while. Let's have a look at the articles. And firstly, I want to talk about FIA Rally Star's future plans. The FIA Rally Star program was designed to get drivers from Sim Rally to Rally 3 to WRC champion over the span of several years. And with Romain Jurgensen winning the JWRC in Greece, that goal has been accomplished 1 year ahead of schedule. However, in their desire to see the sport progress as much as they can help it to, the WRC promoter isn't ending the scheme a year early. Instead, they're actually helping to take it to the next level. You see, Jurgensen's prize for winning the JWRC is 4 fully funded WRC 2 rounds in 2025, provided by M Sport. I mean, that's a prize for anybody who wins. But a full WRC 2 season is usually 7 rounds. Your best 6 scores from the 7 that you enter count towards your championship. But the WRC promoter is doing something awesome. Instead of leaving Jurgensen to find sponsorship for the other 2 or 3 rallies, they're redirecting the funding that they had ring-fenced for a second JWRC campaign to fund the other 3 events that make up a season. Not just 2, so you have the 6, but 7 rounds. So you end up having the drop score, and it's a proper full WRC2 campaign for the Rising Estonian. And yeah, this is an awesome move, a WRC promoter. Even if it's something as simple as moving one piece of money that they'd already committed to spending from some pot to another pot. Whilst it does illustrate one of the big problems of WRC, the increasing cost of running in the series, it is a good way of trying to remove the barriers to entry. But is there another way to help? Because it's great that WRC is making sport more accessible, helping people to deal with the costs, and we've got the Beyond Rally initiative, which I'll be covering in a couple of weeks' time. But should they look at other ways to reduce the costs? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on that one, because I know I've got my feelings. I've made them perfectly clear over the years, especially if you've been following for a couple of years since they announced the hybrid. I was happy when I heard about the Rally 1 Minus plans that they had. Not too happy about the Rally 2 Plus. But now it's all been shelved. They've just got to make sure they get 2027 spot on in my books. But anyways, we're going to keep with the WRC for the next bit, which is that Autosport have reported that more WRC events will change their format for 2025 from a media roundtable with Simon Larkin at the Acropolis Rally. A quote from Larkin says, "There'll be a couple of events next year that will run slightly different formats. I know one event that's probably going to run a bit longer, and I know an event that's probably going to run a tighter format." Bob Howard at Autosport highlighted Kenya could be the event that's been running a longer format. I mean, after all, it's been running around 360 kilometers since 2022, longer than the more common 300 kilometer mark that it ran to in 2021 when it made its return. But historically, it came in at over 1,000 kilometers, with some editions being as high as 3,000 or even 4,000. Now, I don't think we should be aiming for those highs again. In the past, the drivers weren't wearing fireproofs, the Safari for example. But I don't see any reason why we can't have a 400 kilometer or a 500 kilometer event, long days, grueling events. What I would like to see is more experimentation with the stages though, something a bit like in Greece where you saw some stages only be run once throughout the event. Now, the ERC was great back at Rally Caradigian, where the first two super specials run back to back, and it was the same for the third and fourth ones at the end of the Saturday. Now, every rally can't have the 2016 Guanajuato test. The penultimate stage in Rally Mexico ran at 80 kilometers and took 48 minutes to complete. But one or two of them in a season is great. It's what it means is it's experimenting with the format and keeping them in the same point structure as well, which I think is a great idea. And the reason why is the best driver, the champion at the end of the year, won't only have to be the best over all surfaces, but all types of events. From the more rally sprint-esque events to the more endurance-based ones. And speaking of endurance, Hyundai have announced their luxury arm Genesis will enter the hypercar class in WEC from 2026 with an LMDh project, which also allows it to enter IMSA. The category, known as GTP in the States, is much more effective in terms of cost for manufacturers compared to the LMH program that Ferrari, Peugeot and Toyota are the current runners of. We've also seen the likes of Floyd Van Wall, Isotta Francini and Glickenhaus running in LMH, though they've had to drop out due to budgetary reasons. Now, the reason why it's much more cost effective is there are so many spec parts of the car. The hybrid, the gearboxes, and the chassis are all controlled by IMSA and the ACO, who are the organisers for WEC. Whilst the first two are spec parts, the chassis can be bought from one of four providers: Orica, Multimatic, Lara, and Ligier. Now, whilst it's not confirmed which brand the Genesis will be based on, the first one is the one that Daily Sports Car believe is the one that they've chosen, with them also claiming that some Hyundai Motorsport staff are already being relocated to the Orica base, which is down at Paul Ricard. This would make Orica the first brand to supply chassis for 3 LMDh cars, Acura in IMSA, and with Alpine in WEC. But Genesis could well be the first brand to run an Orica chassis in both. Now, what this means for the other Hyundai Motorsports Group programs is unknown. Most people believe that these will be shelved, as the current contract to rent their Alzenau facilities is supposedly up at the end of 2025. Now, companies don't tend to get into motorsport to make a profit. They tend to for advertising, or, more cynically, as a tax write-off. But it could be fair to say that Genesis going into LMDh regulations could be more cost-effective than WRC, or even TCR. Arguably, to make that argument make sense, it would be Hyundai that takes the entry instead of Genesis. But hey, I'm not someone who's qualified in business and marketing. Historian? I'm also a political scientist. But I digress. Thank you for watching this one, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I was surprised with how many words I've gotten through in how short a time period. It's over 1,000 words in less than 10 minutes. So please let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any comments or feedback regarding this format. I've been trying it out now for about a month, and I've been enjoying doing this kind of stuff. And until next time, bye for now.